Hi. That's not how I start my videos. Hi, I'm Olissimo, and this is my very first Camp Nano writing vlog. Before we get into the thing, I just want to remind you, if you are unaware, that for Camp Nano, I am working on a book called This Book is for October, which I've dubbed a Hallmark Christmas movie, but for Halloween. And since it's a book for my sister and I'm not intending on publishing it or putting it out in the world, I'm being very, very open about the whole writing process on my channel. During this writing vlog, I will probably be very explicit about certain parts that I'm in, characters, plot points, etc. And if you're ever confused and don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch the video I put out last week where I give a full rundown of the outline. It's a long video, so you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now, today is July 4th. Happy Independence Day to America. And I have not written in my draft for This Book is for October yet, but in the wise words of Douglas Adams, don't panic, that was intentional. I kept getting such fantastic comments helping me figure out some of the more vague parts of my outline that I just wanted to let the video sit for a few days in order to let more of those comments pop up. Specifically, I would like to shout out Great Fry for her fantastic suggestions regarding the meta magic witch. I was really struggling to figure out how the end battle of the story is resolved, and Devesha had a fantastic suggestion that the Meta Magic Witch could have provided the protagonist, Kate, with some form of talisman that then becomes useful in that battle. So I'm keeping that in mind. She and I also discussed how the Meta Magic Witch and Kate's mother have an intertwined history that I absolutely love, but we'll discuss that more as it pops up in the writing process. I would also like to thank Brenna, who gave a fabulous comment all in regards to Matthew and his motivations. This really was a light bulb moment for me. I was trying to figure out why he was even in town, why he associates himself with Kate even though they are from two rival covens. I had just had so many questions for Matthew in order to make him feel like a real character, because right now he just sort of sits there and looks handsome and carves pumpkins and does housework for Kate. But Brenna had the fantastic idea that perhaps his family is almost in cahoots with the king below, who is our main antagonist, who lives in the underworld or the land of the dead. I forget what I call these things. Matthew is in cahoots with the king below and initially has been sent to make sure that Kate is able to complete the hedge witch trials at the end of the book. But over the course of the story eventually falls in love with her, and then when he attempts to warn her of what is coming, that is when the king below reaps him and takes him away, and that's what causes the big misunderstanding between the two of them. Although I wouldn't even call it a misunderstanding, because I feel like her anger towards him would be totally valid. And a huge thank you to Violet from Writing Violet for sending me a fantastic and detailed DM where we discussed foreshadowing for the king below, general thoughts about Kate's trials, and also fall staples that have to make a way into the story. Jumping into a pile of leaves, for example. Again, if you are very confused about what I'm saying, I highly suggest you go and watch my outline video. Now that I have all these fantastic suggestions in hand, I want to actually get some words on the page today. I've been doing outlining and everything like that for the past few days, but today is the day to start drafting. I want to spend about an hour in my room while I write. I have to be in my room because right now I have all my Halloween decorations up, and as soon as I walk out, I'm gonna see all the like American flags and somebody will be cooking hamburgers. I'll be like, what year is it? Doing Halloween in July is fun, but it is a recipe for cognitive dissonance. So now that I've given you all the little updates to the plan, and without any further ado, let's jump right into This Book is for October. Also, this little dude has made an appearance in every single video at this point, and so now I'm thinking about making it a tradition to have him in the videos, but he needs a name. Or she. Leave suggestions down below for what our little buddy's name should be. Now, just a little disclaimer. This is a story I have worked on for the past 2 summers. So as of last summer, I had over 25,000 words in this story. It is going to be very different this time though, but the beginning is the place where it's not going to be terribly different. So this is why I was not overly concerned about not writing in the draft the first few days and focusing more on getting the outline as robust as possible, because I know I have about 5,000 words right at the start that are pretty solid and pretty much gonna stay the same. So today's writing might be less drafting brand new words and more editing what I have written in the past. I'm horrified. I can't believe I started working on this without literally the most important ingredient to working on this story. Excuse me. This video is like crack. If this music is playing, I can write this story without fail. So the way the story starts is, first it starts with a poem, and this is going to sound very strange, but the story itself, the full thing that I outlined in my last video, is not actually called This Book is for October. The story is called The Hedge Witch, but the book itself is called This Book is for October. And the reason for the strange divergence, like why would you have a book called something but the story within the book called something else, is because this book isn't just going to be The Hedge Witch. First, it starts with a poem. Then we have The Hedge Witch. Then at the end of the book is going to be a list of all the recipes that are made within The Hedge Witch and all the activities that are done and kind of master checklists for the reader to do when celebrating Halloween. And by the reader, I mean my sister. So The Hedge Witch is just one part of the book and the project, which is why it has a different title than the overall project, if that makes sense. But I am still counting the poems and the recipes and stuff in the back as part of the word count. So if there's ever a day where I just can't bring myself to actually work on The Hedge Witch, I can go and I can write up one of the recipes, or I can write up one of the activity lists, if that makes sense. Well, I hope it makes sense either way, but for now, let's get some words on paper. So I'm actually really happy with this entire poem. So I'm just going to take a leap of faith here and copy and paste it immediately into the new draft, but I will give it a read through. This book is for October. This book is for reading on a crisp or cold day with a homemade knit blanket thrown around your shoulders and you curled up into a favorite chair where you can see the color of the fall leaves outside. This book should wrap you up, so fall right in. This book is a visible breath, a hint of smoke in the breeze or on the breeze. Leaving a comment. This book is visible breath, a hint of smoke in/on the breeze, and a countdown to the best holiday of the year. This book is apple cider donuts, in that it's mostly sugar, not a lot of substance, and probably not very good for you, but oh so aesthetically pleasing. I'm actually quite proud of that poem. I think it perfectly captures exactly the vibe I'm trying to go for with this story, so I'm very proud of that. And look at that. I've written for 2 minutes and we have 115 words. Is my microphone on? Yes, the microphone was on. Oh my god. The panic that just ran through my body. Anyway, mini crisis averted. Excellent. So we have our little poem done. Yay! Oh, you know what? I also want to have a table of contents, I think. So that way my sister can see that there are multiple aspects to this book. But the question is does the table of contents come before the poem or after? I feel like logically it should come before, but emotionally I want the poem to be the first thing. So first is, just poem, then the table of contents, then the Hedge Witch, then it's going to be Kitchen Witch Spellbook. That will be fun recipes. Then we'll do the Grimoire, and that will be more like fun spells that I just make up. And then we'll have our October/Halloween activity lists, a happy Halloween movie list, and a scary Halloween movie list. yeah, I think, oh, and these are gonna be, they're gonna be 31 things each on these lists. Awesome. We'll come back at the very end and make this pretty. So I'll just add in a comment that that's what we're gonna do. Now we can get started. Since this is gonna be a bit of a copy and paste, I'm gonna go ahead and do that and like look over my words and edit, and I'll check back in about, let's say, half an hour and just give a little update. Okay, I have gotten about 2,600 words. It's been about an hour. There are definitely things in this first chapter that have to be fixed. For example, I had this whole idea that the coven does like a containment ceremony every year on Halloween night, and that eventually it's revealed that like that's part of what keeps the king below on the other side, but that's totally not correct anymore. So I have to take out every reference to that. And I also want to sprinkle in the fact that Kate's dad died when she was about 6 or 7 years old. In older versions of this story, he's like not present at all. I don't even think I had like any plan for who he was. But now he's kind of a pivotal part of the backstory because Sybil, when she makes her deal with the king below to have all of this power and name her daughter a hedge witch in return, when she is thinking about going back on that deal, the king below punishes Sybil by killing her husband, basically making him sick and die. I had to sprinkle him in, make the men a little bit more present in this story. Those are the changes I've made, but now I have to kind of leave the story as is for a little while because it's time to go and celebrate Independence Day. Yay! Hello, it is July 5th and I am gonna write. Yesterday was a very good day. I think I ended the day with about 3,000 words. Again, many of those were copy and pasted, but I would say about 800 of them ended up being new, especially because I did delete a whole bunch of chunks because I deleted some threads that are no longer relevant. I forget all the updates that I gave you, but I've gotten through obviously the poem and then the whole first chapter, although it reads a little bit like a prologue, a little bit, a lot of it, oh well. But we've gone over Kate's family history and her upbringing with her sisters and her relationship with her mom, which I feel like I really strengthened it in this new first chapter. In previous chapters, her mom doesn't really get mentioned all that much. It's the main focus is her relationship with her older sister, but since her general arc in the story will be more focused on the lies her mother told her throughout her life, I needed the mom to feel bigger and more present in the first chapter, especially because she's going to be dead by the time chapter 2 opens. So I had like a lovely little scene with them on the first day that Kate started her training as a hedge witch, and I think it does a good job of towing the line between exposition and really conveying the relationship that they had with each other, at least the way Kate views that relationship initially at the start of the story. I also used that conversation to give a little bit of foreshadowing over the deal that Kate's mother has made, so I'm pretty proud of myself. This might be asking too much, but I would love to get to 5,000 words total by the end of the day, just so that I am caught up. And I think it should be doable because I am still in a big copy and paste section. But this first chapter, or the second chapter, is where we really do start to diverge because Matthew's whole entrance is different now, so maybe I'll be copying and pasting a lot, maybe not. We're doing July Jamboree in the Discord. A sprint has just ended. And I think I'm also gonna try and convince some friends to stream because I'm really in the mood to write, but I want just some writing buddies, so I'm gonna reach out to them. For anyone curious, this is my setup for camp day 5. I have a little chai latte that I made for myself. I have my vlogging camera. I'm on my phone right now. I have my computer, and I am rewarding myself with AuthorTube videos every time I do something productive or I cross something off my to-do list. This is that relaxing pagan music, 1 hour of fantasy music for relaxation and meditation I was telling you guys about yesterday. And I am in the library Discord running the sprints. Oh, and Miranda joined. Gotta give her a little tom-tom. Oh, and then finally I have Odin's Child because I am buddy reading this, and the person I'm buddy reading this with, Danny, has already finished, and as you can see, I am not that far into it, and so this I'm keeping and carrying with me everywhere I go so I don't forget about it, and I'm making it a top priority. But yeah, I wanted to keep it nice and simple, no post-it notes, no writer's journal, nothing, just 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Oh, 5 things because I also have a little Persuasion by Jane Austen coaster. Okay. I am sitting, I am writing, I'm running the Discord. It is maybe an hour or 2 later. I have been flipping back and forth between sprints, reading and writing, and I did get up to 5,000 words. In fact, I'm at 5,736 words in the story, which means I'm totally caught up. Woo! Can I just say, this, you know how I've been saying that this book is for October is more about the aesthetic than it is plot, and yet I made an entire 40-minute video about the plot? Well, to assure you that it is truly about the aesthetic, the second chapter has approximately 6 pages that their only reason for existing is it describes Kate making a cozy fire, going on a nice little walk in the woods and gathering some late berries, making herself a French toast with melted cream cheese and apple cider syrup, and sitting by her roaring fireplace, eating and listening to the rain pelting her roof. So it is putting me in a very aesthetic mood, which means I feel like I'm doing my job correctly. So that's good. Nothing relevant to the plot has occurred for probably 7 pages. Oops, sorry, that's Discord. Woohoo, we have so many people joining in the sprints. Wave hello to the vlog. I fell asleep while writing during the last sprint, and I wholeheartedly blame this music. Good morning. It is the morning of July 6th. It is going to be an incredibly busy day for me because I am getting ready to get out of Texas for the rest of the summer. And so because of that, I do not know how much writing I'm going to get done today. However, that's okay because I didn't get over 6,000 words, but I hit 6,000 words in This Book is for October yesterday, which means I have a little bit of buffer room. I'm gonna be spending the morning cleaning, packing, doing all sorts of stuff, and then in about an hour and a half, I have to go and run an errand for my mom, which will probably take quite a while. And then I have other errands that I have to run, but I'm hoping I'll get back home around 7 p.m. and I can finish my cleaning, finish my packing, and then join the sprints in the Discord and actually get some words in. But I'm not gonna hold myself accountable for 1,000 words today, but we'll see. Okay, here's the reality of the situation. It is 9:59 to almost 10 p.m. There is 1 more hour in today's July Jamboree session, and I have not written at all today, but again, that was the understanding of the situation. But I'm gonna write for the next hour, even though I'm not done packing and I'm not done with everything that I need to be done with, but I just want to take a break from the stress of trying to pack. So I'm gonna write for 1 hour and then I'm gonna get back to the packing world. For reference, this is what my room looks like at the moment. I've got a lot ahead of me, but it's fine. Sleepy little puppy. Go. the hour is over. And overall, I am very happy with how it went. I got 1077 words, and only about 200 of those were copy and pasted. And I'm now at about 7.5K for the story as a whole. With that being said, I have a lot of work left to do in my room and in packing and stuff, so I'm gonna sign off. I don't know how my day will go tomorrow. Maybe I'll write in the airport, maybe I will sleep, depends on how tonight goes. I know at least I will try and write a little bit once I do get to my final destination. Until then, bye! And I'm back. Woo! It's very late at night. I have a lot to unpack. There are approximately 0 guarantees that I'm actually going to write today. But that's okay, because I was 1,000 words ahead. We've got built-in wiggle room. Ooh, hello. It is Thursday, July 8th, which means the first week of Nano has officially come to a close. I wanted to just give final stats for the week. And by stats, I mean the one stat that I have, which is my total word count. I did get in a lot of words yesterday. I was really surprised. I hit about 950, which was really exciting. That brought my total word count for the week to 8,836, which means even though I've been insanely busy, I'm still ahead of schedule, which is fantastic. Now, of course, I've been saying it all week. Take that success with a grain of salt, because I have been mainly doing copy paste. So if I had really been starting a story truly from scratch, I'm sure this week would have gone much differently. But for my own sake, I'm glad that I had these words to rely on. As for placement in the story, we have gotten through basically all of our introductions, and Matthew has just arrived at Kate's cottage, and they've just had their whole little first exchange and gone to bed, not together. Let me clarify that really quickly. But yeah, I have all sorts of thoughts on their interactions, but I think I'm gonna save that little monologue for next week's video. But I did want to ask, at the very beginning of the video, I had mentioned that someone left me a comment that suggested Matthew's whole family could be working for the king below, and he actually comes to Kate under the guise of, I forget what I have. I think I say he's doing research on his craft at the local Salem college or something like that. But in reality, he is there to make sure Kate is ready for Halloween night and ready to become an official hedge witch and help the king below cross into the land of the living. But in order to make him a little more sympathetic, I was wondering if instead of having Matthew come with bad intentions initially, what if he has already rebelled against the king below by coming to Kate? What if this is him trying to get her ready to not help the king below cross on Halloween, but help defeat the king below on Halloween, or be strong enough to resist him, because Matthew has decided in his life that he does not want to serve this master anymore, and he does not believe in, you know, the way of the king below or whatever. And he still has to maintain secrecy about it because he knows he's always being watched, and if he ever tries to overtly explain to Kate what is happening, he will be reaped by the king below, which is what in fact happens when Matthew is backed into a corner later in the story by Kate's sister and has to admit what's going on. But before he can fully admit, the king below takes him. So that's what I'm thinking. Give me your thoughts though. I haven't officially gotten to that part, and the way I have written Matthew right now, he's pretty snarky, pretty sarcastic and teasing, and it could go either way with what his initial intentions are in this moment. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Matthew should come in with nefarious intentions to start and then fall in love with Kate and go back on his master? Or do you think he should have already rebelled against his master and has come to kind of help the hedge witch defeat the king below, but it's out of a self-serving desire, and then eventually he does fall in love with her and it becomes more of a selfless desire to help Kate? If you feel passionate about one way or the other, duke it out in the comments and I'd love to read all of your discussion on it.
Is that a spider?
No, it's just a little cobweb. Happy first week of camp. Let me know how your camp project is going down in the comments, and also just let me know your general thoughts on anything and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.